Have you ever felt like some people have an easy time creating their dream lives, while others get stuck in cycles of scarcity and dissatisfaction? Maybe that's the case for you. What if I told you that the secret to changing this reality is hidden in a single phrase that you already use every day without realizing the power it carries? Now imagine that you have the key to reprogramming your life, as simply as saying, I am. This is neither magic nor coincidence. It is a universal law that has the power to create the reality you live in, based on the words you choose to describe yourself. Yes, the words you use to identify yourself are shaping every aspect of your life. When you say, I'm tired, you're not just reporting a temporary feeling. You're creating an identity, a state of being, and the universe doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you need. It only responds to what you declare yourself to be. Now, imagine changing that command to something more powerful, like I am prosperous or I am healthy. What would happen if from now on, every time you said I am, you were sending a whole new vibration out into the universe? This simple change in identity can be the turning point for a real and profound transformation. The I am is not just an empty statement. It is the code by which the universe responds to you. It's the most powerful command you have. And best of all, you already have access to it. Are you ready to understand how this simple phrase can create the world you want to live in? Did you know that every word you say has a frequency? It's not just a philosophical concept, but something that quantum physics itself confirms. When you say I am, you are not just saying any sentence. You are emitting a vibration that goes beyond what the eyes can see, touching the deepest layers of reality. What you may not know is that I am is much more than a simple statement. It's a direct command to the universe, a key that activates the quantum field around you. Imagine this. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you say, wish, but to what you and. That's right. The universe is not a mere reflection of what you want to achieve, but a response to what you are being. Right now, in this very moment. When you say, I am prosperous, you're not just verbalizing a hope. You're emitting a frequency that resonates with abundance in the quantum field. This isn't philosophy. It's physics. Quantum physics teaches us that everything in the universe is made of vibrating particles, and these particles respond to what you emit. Like a radio station, your I am tunes to the frequency you attract. Now imagine a simple example. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I am poor or I am incapable? By doing this, you're not just expressing a negative thought. You're creating an identity and tuning your frequency to that reality, generating results that match that identity. But what if you change that? What if instead you said, I am prosperous or I am capable? What would your life be like if you started aligning your thoughts and words with the abundance, success, and well-being you truly desire? This change of identity, as simple as it may seem, activates a transformation in the quantum field that can collapse new possibilities. And this is where the magic happens. By changing the way you see yourself and how you express yourself, you change the field around you, making your reality align with the new frequency you emitted. And it is precisely at this moment of transformation that the true power of the I am begins to reveal itself. As you align with your new identity, your reality begins to collapse to reflect it. But how does this actually happen in practice? How can this shift in identity directly affect the way you interact with the world? The answer lies in how you perceive yourself and how this profoundly alters your reality, and let's address that now. Have you ever thought about how you see yourself in your day-to-day life can directly affect the possibilities that open up before you? Imagine for a moment that you are at a fork in the road, and the choice you make here could change the course of your life. But more than that, the way you see yourself in this moment, the identity you carry, is what determines which path you will follow. Here comes a fascinating concept from quantum physics: wave collapse. Basically, everything in the universe exists as possibilities until you decide to observe them. When you focus your attention on a specific possibility, you collapse it, making it real. This is the power of your identity. When you say, I am prosperous or I am capable, you are observing and collapsing a new reality for yourself. But what happens when you maintain a limited identity, like I'm poor or I'm incapable? You're actually repeating a cycle of possibilities that always reinforces that identity. And this isn't just about how you think about your financial situation. This concept applies to all aspects of life: health, relationships, career. How you define yourself is how the universe will respond to you. At this point, you may be asking yourself, but what if I don't see myself as prosperous or successful yet? Don't worry, this is a natural part of the process. The point here is that as you begin to see yourself differently, as you begin to affirm with conviction what you want to be, possibilities begin to rearrange themselves around you. By collapsing the wave of possibility into a new identity, you are allowing the universe to work to make that new version of yourself a reality. This identity shift isn't a simple task, but it's one of the keys to transforming your life. When you see yourself as prosperous, for example, opportunities begin to come your way. People, situations, and even your own actions begin to reflect the identity you've begun to affirm. This is a profound shift, and this is where many people fail. They continue to define themselves by circumstances, rather than by the identity they desire to manifest. Now that you understand the power of collapsing possibilities through your identity, how can you begin to apply this in your everyday life? What are the new possibilities you want to collapse into your life? Change begins with how you see yourself and how you begin to assert your new identity. And this opens the door to the next step, which is how your new identity begins to act in the world. Imagine for a moment that you have a magic pen. Every time you write with it, you create a new chapter of your life. With each word written, a new possibility manifests before you. Now, think about the words you use most often to describe yourself. What are you creating with these words? What are you writing about your own life every day? Every time you say I am, you are literally writing the story of your existence. The I am is not just a phrase. It is the command with which you activate your reality. It is like a cosmic pen that writes your journey, and you are the author of that story. So the question is, what story are you writing? Did you know that by saying, I am prosperous, you begin to rewrite your financial reality? Likewise, if you say, I am healthy, you are creating a new vibrational pattern for your health. Every affirmation is not just a positive thought, but a direct instruction to the universe to align your life with the energy of that affirmation. When you affirm who you are automatically charting the path you want to follow. The good news is that you have the power to rewrite your story at any time. If you feel trapped in a limiting identity like I'm poor or I'm unlucky, you can change that narrative. Simply pick up the cosmic pen of I am and begin writing a new story. No matter what you've experienced so far, the future you're creating begins with who you claim to be. Remember, your I am is a powerful tool. Every time you use this phrase, you are creating a new reality. When you affirm I am prosperous, you are literally activating this possibility. This is the power of I am. You're not just speaking words, you're shaping your destiny. And the moment you start writing with more clarity and intention, your reality begins to align with those words. This transformation happens based on your identity, on who you claim to be. And this brings us to a crucial point. How do you act on what you wrote? How do you come to live as the person you claim to be? Have you ever realized that the way you observe the world can influence what you experience? The observer effect is a fascinating concept from quantum physics that suggests that the simple act of observing something can alter its reality. This happens in such subtle and powerful ways that we often don't even realize the depth of this influence. This effect reveals that the universe reacts not only to our physical actions, but also to the focus of our attention. When you observe something in a specific way, such as looking at a financial situation with the belief in scarcity, you are shaping that reality. In other words, your perception of reality is key to how it will become. Now, think of the famous double-slit experiment, which perfectly illustrates the observer effect. In this experiment, particles of light, when observed, behave differently depending on how they are observed. The most intriguing thing is that, when not observed, the particles behave like waves of possibility, maintaining a state of uncertainty. Thus, observation, the act of focusing attention, creates a reality. This principle applies similarly to your life. How you view your financial situation, your relationships, or your health can determine how those areas develop. If you look at your life with the view that everything is challenging or scarce, that is what will be reflected. But by changing the way you observe your circumstances, you change your frequency and consequently, the experiences you attract. Right now, I bet you're wondering, how do I practically change my perception? The answer lies in observing differently, looking at your challenges with the certainty that there is a solution. By shifting your perspective, you begin to align with a new frequency, attracting more positive results. This brings us to the next step, making this mental transformation consistently, creating a new lasting reality. Do you know what it would be like to live in total alignment with your deepest purpose? Imagine for a moment that you have within you a creative force, a universal energy that guides and manifests everything you desire. This is the divine state, the God state, a place within you where your true essence is aligned with creating what you desire for your life. It's not about ego or superiority, but about a deep alignment between who you are internally and what you want to manifest externally. When you are in the divine state, your intentions become clear and powerful, for there is no separation between what you desire and who you are. You are not just trying to manifest something, you are actually creating from your own divine essence. This brings us to a fundamental concept of spirituality and quantum physics. You do not manifest what you want, but who you are. When you are in tune with your true essence, your intentions become powerful because your vibration is aligned with what you are creating. As Joe Dispenza often says, change doesn't happen by trying, it happens by being. So how can you access this divine state in your everyday life? The key is moments of silence and contemplation, where you can connect with your higher self. This can be done through meditation, affirmations, or even simple moments of introspection. When looking in the mirror and saying, for example, I am worthy of all the success, health, and love I desire, you are aligning with your true creative power. This state of conscious creation is not a distant or intangible place, but something accessible to each of us. What differentiates it is the level of consciousness with which you connect with your own essence. As you raise your frequency and consciousness to this God state, you begin to realize that you are no longer seeking something outside of yourself. You are the creator of your reality. And by maintaining this high view of yourself, you begin to notice changes not only in your external life, but also within yourself. Your reality begins to shape itself according to this new perception of who you truly are. But what do you do when this connection is lost? How to return to your divine state? We will explore this next as the consciousness of continuous creation guides us towards manifesting our best version. Now let's reflect. How can the mind shape reality? Science has something to say about this. Neuroscience and quantum physics are beginning to demonstrate what many spiritual teachers have always said. Our beliefs, thoughts, and emotions have the power to directly influence the world around us. When we align our mind with what we wish to create, the universe responds. Neuroscience shows us that the brain is capable of changing its structure and functioning through neuroplasticity. This means that by creating new thought patterns and beliefs, you can literally reprogram your mind to work for you. This shift in patterns is essential to creating a new reality. When you begin to affirm and believe something new about yourself, like I am abundant or I am healthy, you're not just changing your thoughts, but rewiring your brain structure to reflect these new beliefs. Neuroplasticity allows you to create new neural pathways, which in turn alter your perception of the world. Quantum physics, in turn, validates the power of thought and consciousness in creating reality. The quantum field does not respond to what you want, but to what you and thought is a form of energy. And when you connect with what you want to manifest, that energy begins to shape matter. This connection between mind and matter isn't something mystical, but something profoundly scientific. In his studies, Dr. Joe Dispenza explains how our thoughts have the power to create and reconfigure reality at the quantum level. And what does this mean for your life? It means that by changing the way you think and act, you can literally change the course of your journey. When you begin practicing affirmations and visualizations that align your mind with the reality you desire, you begin to reprogram yourself for success and prosperity. This isn't about wishful thinking, but about how your brain and the quantum field interact to create what you truly believe is possible. At this point, you might be asking yourself, how can I use this science to create the life I want? How can I apply neuroscience and quantum physics in my daily life? We'll explore these practices in more detail below, so you can harness this power in practical, transformative ways. Many people believe that the secret to manifesting the life of their dreams is simply positive thinking or repeating affirmations. But there is one essential step that is often overlooked. True transformation happens when you incarnate the identity you want to create. It's not enough to just think like someone who is prosperous or abundant. You need to be this person in all aspects of their life. The concept of embodiment goes beyond simple thought. It's about living the reality you want to manifest until it becomes your new truth. By dressing, acting, speaking, and behaving like the person you already want to be, you align your energy with what you want to create. As Florence Scovel Shinn said, real change occurs when you begin to live in reality, as if you have already achieved what you desire. This means that instead of waiting to feel prosperous, healthy, or successful, you start act as if you were already that person. When you put yourself in this energy of already being, you send a clear message to the universe that you are ready to receive whatever you desire. It is not an act, but a deep reprogramming that begins at the level of being. This process does not require excessive effort, but rather a change in perception. For example, when preparing for a new project or a new phase in your life, instead of feeling insecure, start dressing and acting like the confident person you're already becoming. This type of action not only reinforces your identity, but also sends signals into the quantum field, attracting circumstances that align with this new version of you. The true power of embodiment is in live the change consistently in all your actions, thoughts, and feelings. This not only alters your vibration but also creates an energy field around you that begins to attract the experiences and people that match this new identity. This brings us to another important question. How do you maintain this new energy consistently so that it becomes part of who you are? Permanently? Let's explore this now, to understand how to stabilize and maintain the frequency of your new reality. Often, the biggest challenge in manifesting a new reality is aligning our actions, thoughts, and emotions. This is called coherence, the ability to integrate and align all aspects of ourselves with the reality we wish to create. When mind, body, and spirit are in perfect harmony, manifestation becomes a natural consequence. When there is a disagreement between what we think, feel, and do, we create an internal disharmony that makes it difficult to create the reality we want. For example, if you are constantly thinking about abundance and wealth, but act impulsively and fearfully around money, there is a conflict that prevents abundance from manifesting. For the manifestation process to be effective, coherence is essential. It's as if you're trying to play a melody but the instruments aren't in tune. This alignment between mind, body, and spirit is not something that happens overnight, but is an ongoing process. Start observing your daily actions and see if they are aligned with what you want to manifest. If you want prosperity, for example, are your financial decisions reflecting that intention? If you want health, are your dietary and lifestyle choices aligned with that goal? Consistency also lies in how you prepare for life's challenges. When you align yourself internally, you can approach even obstacles with calm and confidence, knowing that it's all part of the process. Let's take the example of a job interview. If you prepare with confidence, feeling capable and worthy of the position, your energy and attitude will be in harmony with success. On the other hand, if you feel insecure, your behavior and energy will reflect this, creating a field of negative possibilities. Therefore, true transformation begins within. When you can align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with what you desire to create, manifestation becomes inevitable. But how can we stabilize this coherence continuously? The key is daily practice and constant self-observation, adjusting small attitudes that can create big changes. Let's see below how this practice can be effectively incorporated into daily life. What many don't realize is that the greatest saboteur of our reality is not in the outside world, but within ourselves. The subconscious, it's like a repository where we store all the beliefs, experiences, and patterns that have shaped us throughout our lives. Many of these beliefs, however, are no longer useful and, in fact, can be a major obstacle to manifesting the life we truly desire. These unconscious patterns act as a filter that distorts the way we see situations, causing us to unintentionally attract what we don't want. If, for example, you have a deep-rooted belief that money is hard to come by, even without realizing it, your actions and decisions end up reflecting this limiting belief. And so the cycle of scarcity perpetuates itself. The big challenge, then, is learning to access these hidden beliefs and replace them with new ones that are in alignment with success and abundance. The good news is that it is possible to clean these limiting memories from our subconscious. This doesn't require erasing the past, but rather reinterpreting it in a way that releases trapped energy. Mental reprogramming is the process of replacing negative beliefs with new affirmations that align our mind with what we want to create. When you confidently affirm, "I am worthy of abundance," or "I am capable of achieving anything I desire," you begin to replace old beliefs with new ones, which become your reality. This process of cleaning can be done in several ways, such as through daily affirmations, views, and even meditation. With constant practice, what once seemed like an unquestionable truth begins to dissolve, making room for new thoughts and feelings, and with that, the reality around you begins to reflect these new beliefs. Over time, these new beliefs become as ingrained as the old ones, but now with a much more positive and expansive energy. But how can we ensure that this transformation is lasting and not just temporary? How can we keep this new mindset in continuous motion? Let's explore how to solidify this reprogramming so that it becomes permanent and powerful in your life. Imagine for a moment that the reality you live in is a reflection of your conscience. Everything you experience, from your interactions to the situations you attract, is in some way generated by the way you see the world and yourself. What you believe is possible for your life creates the foundation upon which your reality will be built. This concept aligns with the idea that conscience not only influences, but literally creates the reality around us. Every thought, emotion, and belief constantly feeds the quantum field, and in response, the universe organizes itself to reflect these energies. According to quantum physics, everything in the universe is a manifestation of vibrant energy, and our mind has the power to tune into and attract what aligns with our inner vibration. This cycle of manifestation begins with an idea or desire that arises in your mind. The moment you focus your attention on it, your mind begins to align with that reality. The quantum field, in turn, responds to this frequency and begins rearranging the particles around you to align with what you're projecting. And as this happens, new opportunities, people, and circumstances begin to emerge in your life, often in surprising ways. However, this cycle of manifestation does not happen linearly or immediately. It is fueled by a constant interaction between its thoughts, emotions, and actions. If, for example, you desire to be financially prosperous, but your daily actions are not aligned with this intention, the quantum field cannot reflect this reality. Complete alignment between your consciousness and your actions is what completes the cycle of manifestation. The key here is to maintain this alignment consistently, monitoring your thoughts and emotions, and correcting any incongruence between what you desire and what you are actually vibrating. Manifesting something into your life can be an incredible experience, But have you ever stopped to consider why sometimes this manifestation doesn't last? Many people manage to create moments of success or prosperity, but these moments are often fleeting. This happens because there is often a lack of stability in the frequency they emit. For the manifestation to become a permanent reality, it is necessary to learn to maintain and stabilize this frequency, transforming it into something constant instead of sporadic. When you begin to manifest something, your energy and vibration are in tune with that desire. However, when challenges arise or life returns to its usual rhythm, the frequency tends to drop and the manifestation fades. To prevent this from happening, it is necessary to create a new vibrational pattern. Instead of connecting with abundance or success only in moments of inspiration, you must learn to live in these states constantly. This transformation does not happen overnight but is a gradual process of constancy. Just like someone training for a major sporting event, you need to build and maintain your vibrational energy. The daily practice of affirmations, visualizations, and aligned actions creates a pattern that keeps your frequency high. When you do this consistently, your reality begins to reflect this new pattern, creating a solid foundation for abundance, prosperity, and success. Now you might be thinking, how can I ensure this becomes a consistent practice? The key is to integrate these new habits and patterns into your daily routine until they become automatic. Consistent practice without obsession creates a new vibrational identity, and this identity begins to reflect naturally in your reality. By adopting this stability, what previously seemed like a sporadic manifestation begins to transform into something permanent. To ensure that this change is lasting and not just temporary, the answer lies in continued practice and conscience. As you connect with this new pattern of being and act accordingly, you are creating a reality that does not fade away, but solidifies. And as you do so, the universe continually responds to you, bringing you more of what you truly desire. The stability of this new frequency is key to the next stage of your journey. The I am is much more than a simple statement. It's a key that unlocks doors to transformation. Each time you utter these words, you're opening a path to a new reality. But the power of I am goes beyond words. It's reflected in your actions and thoughts. I am prosperous. I am healthy. I am capable. These aren't just words. They're affirmations that create the foundation for the identity you're choosing to embrace. Now, to make this a powerful practice in your life, it is essential to use the I am as a daily ritual. And like any ritual, it needs to be repeated consistently and with the right energy. Here is a simple but extremely effective practice. Start your day with I am. When you wake up, before anything else, take a moment to connect with yourself. Stay silent for a few seconds. Breathe deeply and then begin to declare out loud, I am worthy of all success, love, and prosperity. I am abundant. I am fulfilled. Add statements that make sense for your current life situation. It's not just about talking, but about actually to feel these words. Let them fill your mind and body. Feel the energy of these affirmations within your being. Also, practice the I am throughout the day, not only in moments of introspection but also in actions. For example, if you are facing a challenging situation at work, stop for a moment and declare, I am capable of overcoming any challenge with confidence. These statements not only help reinforce your new identity, but they align your mind and emotions with the actions you're about to take. Another powerful exercise is to use I am before bed. This is a crucial time to reprogram your subconscious mind. Before closing your eyes, repeat several times firmly and with conviction, I am an abundant person, or any other affirmation that reflects what you want to manifest. During sleep, your mind will be more receptive and these words will sink into your subconscious, preparing your being for manifestation the next day. Remember, the key is in the consistency. The I am is not just something you say, but something you begin to live. As you engage in these daily rituals, your new identity will begin to solidify. creating a reality where everything you are, the universe reflects back to you. Reflect. What are you claiming about yourself? I want to know, what is your I am affirmation for today? Right here in the comments. I am, and add your affirmations. Let's transform this space into a source of mental reprogramming. If you want to understand even more how to use consciousness to create your reality, watch the next video that I will leave on the screen. It talks exactly about the quantum power of observation, the observer effect, which we discuss quickly here in this video. Observation is another crucial element of manifestation. By mastering it, you can literally create the success you desire. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like to continue learning how to use the power of your mind to create the life of your dreams. I am grateful. See you in the next video.